A mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. A mic check 1, 2, a 1, 2. A mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Check 1, 2. Check. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Check. Mic check. Check. All right. I see on Restream I'm live. Am I live on Facebook? Am I live on Facebook? Mic check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Stream setup. Let's see. Says I'm online. View it. Oh, I am live. There we go. What's up, people? Let me see. Dash. Refresh this page. Mic check 1, 2, 1, 2. A mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Okay. All right. So it's working there. Turn that off. Annoy me. All right. So today we're going to talk about something that doesn't really get enough love. We're going to talk about the mindset aspect, right? The intangibles of starting an online business. Um, it is work. A lot of people think that, it's going to be simple because it's online. You're dealing with digital products, sometimes physical products too. You can have a combination of both. I do a combination of both. But when you think about just some of the things that are, uh, when you think about just some of the things you have to kind of keep in mind, it doesn't matter if you're a physical brick and mortar store, if you're a digital online business, the mindset aspect remains the same. You have to have thick skin. There are going to be people that don't believe in your dream. There are going to be people that don't believe in your product. There are going to be people that don't believe what you're doing is right. Most times that's going to come from your, immediate circle. It's going to come from the people closest to you a lot of times. You just have to push through that. You have to really learn how to fight through all of the negativity. You have to learn how to be the best you that you can be. And I say that because there's a bunch of things that get taught and don't get taught in schools and in businesses and life. And the biggest part of that is being resilient, right? Us, minorities, us black folk, we're always taught, to be stronger, be better, be faster, because we have to be. But at the same time, it gets exhausting, always being the strong person, always being, you know, the intelligent person, always being that guy. It gets exhausting. And so after a while, you start to get lax. As a business owner, you can't afford that because the moment you take your foot off the gas, the moment you say, all right, I'm going to take a break, one day becomes 2 days become 4 days become a week, and it just keeps snowballing. As a business owner, you have to stay consistent. You have to kind of get out your own head sometimes. But you also have to know when to take a break, you know, sure you can take a day off. You may be able to even take a week off, but you have to find a way for your business to keep running without you being present for it. That's where you have to learn how to delegate. You need to start building a team because being a solopreneur, the solo entrepreneur, that's not where it's at anymore. Let me tell you that now. That's not where it's at. It's so hard doing everything on your own all the time. It's exhausting. It is work. Um, but it's very rewarding. After a while, once your business starts to grow, you start to flourish, you get a few, trusted employees under you, then it becomes really worth the fight, you know. But starting off, you may not get so lucky. You may have some days where it gets really rough. You may have some weeks or some months where, the funds start to run low and you really start to second guess yourself. That's part of the process. That's really part of the process. You have to really kind of dig deep and find that reason why you got started to begin with. Whether that be for your family, whether that be, it's just to build a better life for yourself. Whether that just be to escape whatever situation that you're in. Let's say you want to move across the country. Let's say you want to move out of the country, but you need funds to do it. Whatever your motivation is, always, always, always keep that in mind. But then you also have to think about, how are you and your product and your services going to help somebody else? You have to think about how you're going to identify their problems and how you can help solve their problems in ways that, even they didn't even know, possible. So the bet, let's do that. Invite your audience to connect there. Yes, let's do that. Chat.restream, copy, paste. All right. So, folks, this is to allow me to engage with you, to see like who you are. Can't post messages to some channels. Okay. Well, that's fine. I use my Facebook personal Facebook group. What the hell happened there? Interesting. Okay. Well, whatever. Anyway, as I was saying, the hardest part about being a business owner is really just kind of staying consistent. It's keeping that goal mentality. That's saying to yourself, I won't fail. I mean, you can fail, but if you tell yourself every day that you're gonna fail, just gonna fail, you're gonna fail, that's all that's gonna happen. If you've got it set in your mind that you're gonna succeed, that you're gonna make this work, you'll find a way to do it. You won't make any excuses. You'll make adjustments. You will find reasons and alternatives. You start to learn how to be more resourceful. You're gonna do the things that you never thought you do, but you're gonna grow in the process. You're gonna do certain things that you wish you would have done sooner. You're gonna also do things that you wish you would have never done at all. That's all part of the learning curve. It's all part of growing. That's life. As people, we grow, we make mistakes, we adapt. That's really, just part of the life cycle. And that's the part of businesses that don't get talked about. It's the whole mindset. It's the being okay with making mistakes. It's not letting our mistakes define where we go, how we progress, right? Is learning how to use those mistakes as stepping stones to, tweak our business, tweak our model, and just kind of grow as individuals, as business owners, and just as a collective, right? As a community. Because some of the problems you face and some of the challenges you went through, and how you overcame them, those are stories you can tell in your journey to help somebody else, right? Eventually, we're all going to become coaches. We're all going to eventually become life coaches, skill coaches, whatever. Eventually, we're going to share our experiences with the younger generation. You may not decide to do it, in a formal, paid setting. You may just decide to do it in your immediate circle, in your family members, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins. That's part of our job. That's what we do in this life. We live, we learn, we grow, and we pass our knowledge to the next generation. you know that's what we're good at. That's how we advance as a society. Is we pick up knowledge, we pick up lessons, and we just pass them on to the next generation, see how they can improve on it. We tell them all the things that we've done, all the things that didn't go so well, and all the things we wish we would have done, just to hope that they make better decisions than us, just to make it easier for those to come after us. And I say all that to say that, being a business owner is no different. Finding a mentor is exactly why you should kind of consider that, because the mentor ahead of you, whether it doesn't matter how old they are, if they've got more experience than you in a certain field, in a certain area, they have something they're able to teach you, right? Because they've probably hit those roadblocks before. They probably made those mistakes before. They got those things that you're probably considering doing, that probably isn't such a good idea, that they've already done. So I say all this to say that as a business owner, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to grow. along the way. And that's really what this live session is all about. Oh, it's still called Q&A. All right, well, whatever. The goal of today's live session wasn't really intended to be a Q&A, but it can be. The point of today's session is to talk about the mindset, that goes into being a business owner, the intangibles, so to speak, right? It's the things, it's the not so pretty side of being a business owner. You're gonna have your wins, you're gonna have some losses, you're gonna have times where it's gonna get really, really rough, but you have to be consistent. You have to push through it because as a business owner, you learn how to grow. You learn, from all of your mistakes. You learn all the things that didn't work so well. You learn from the things that went really well. You learn how to blend the two so that the stuff that didn't go so well would go better the next time if it's a key step to your business or it's a key step to your progress. For example, in my business, it took me forever to get my email autoresponder integrated correctly. I mean, it took over a month for me to get that thing together. And it's not that, and I kept blaming the software. I kept blaming everything except me. I kept saying, it's the tool's fault. I kept saying it's ClickFunnels' fault because I was using ClickFunnels then. I kept saying it's Aweber's fault, it's GetResponse's fault. Something just isn't connecting. So after a while, I had to take a step back, count my losses. I said, okay, start over. Excuse me. Start over. And once I did that, everything went smooth. I took my time, one step at a time, went back through my training, went back through my videos, join some communities, ask questions of people, say, hey, where am I going wrong? Because people, to my surprise, also had the same issue when they first started, is that they just missed a few steps or went out of order in some steps. So it screwed up the entire process. That's what I mean when I say that you have to learn how to fall forward, right? You're going to make some mistakes along the way, and some mistakes I mean, they're really key for you learning, right? Because had I would have never made that mistake, had everything would just work smooth out of the gate, I wouldn't know how to troubleshoot it in case I encountered it with another software, or in case one of my clients runs into that issue. It helps. Again, it helps when you run into certain things yourself, because now that you've experienced it, you can help somebody else either not experience that or fix it once they do. And that's part of our job as humans, is that we pass on our knowledge that we get, right? Whether that be to the later generations, whether that be to our mentees, whether that be to whatever students we get along the way in this this crazy story called life. That's just part of what we do. That's how we survive, right? We take the lessons that were taught from to us from our parents, from our grandparents, from our teachers, from our peers. We take all of those, we develop this personality, we develop this portfolio within our heads, and then we start to continuously build in that portfolio. We experience things ourselves. We go in our own path, our own journey in life. We run into a lot of hardships, whether that be financially, whether that be emotionally, whether that be spiritually, whether that be relationship wise, whatever. We run into all these different road bumps, all these different obstacles and blocks, but we learn from them, right? We survive them, and because we survive them, we grow. Because we learn, okay, this didn't work so well. My wife didn't like these kinds of flowers. She realized I was allergic to this food. We all learn from these experiences, and we grow. We learn not to make the same mistakes, and so we help those to come after us not make those mistakes. They're gonna still mess up. I mean, we're all human. We've got to experience life for ourselves. But when you got somebody ahead of you that has a certain level of wisdom, you'd be a fool not to at least, listen to it. You don't have to always follow it, but you'd be a fool not to listen to it. And that's one of the things I wish I would have realized sooner, is that as a business owner, you can't do it all alone. It really does take a village to raise a child, and that child being your online business or your physical business. You have to build a community. You have to get out there. People have to know that you exist. That's right. You're gonna make problems. I mean, you're gonna have mistakes, but it's how you bounce back from all of these things to really determine your worth and like how far you're gonna get in life. And that's, the most intangible thing that I really, really, really wish I learned ahead of time. I wish somebody would have sat down with me and told me, hey, don't do this, don't do that. Instead of saying, you know what, screw it, balls to the wall, have at it. I really wish somebody would have just kind of, at the very beginning, because I got mentors now, at the very beginning, I wish somebody would have just said, hey, you know what, take your time, don't rush through it. Rome wasn't built in a day. Don't try to do everything all at once. Wait until you finish one step of the process before you build another. When you're making a house, you got to do the foundation, before you can start to, put drywall up. Because why work backwards? It's you're gonna create problems for yourself doing that. If you do things out of a certain order, out of a logical order, you're gonna, start retracing your steps and creating double the work for yourself. So I say all of that to say, it's a great thing being a business owner. It's a great feeling. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but it's rewarding, because you're building something you can be proud of. You're building a brand. You're building something that you really care about, that you really want to take care of. You're building a future for yourself and for your later generations if you plan on, having kids. Or if you have siblings, then you got hopefully nieces and nephews. But, I strongly believe that, you know, I got this saying, each one, reach one, and teach one, right? So what I mean is that every person eventually is going to reach out to somebody else, whether that be a peer, whether that be a child, whether that be a relative, and they're going to share their experiences. They're going to share, their knowledge. They're going to share their ups, their downs. They're going to talk about their wins and their losses. They're going to talk about some of their regrets. That's part of life. It's that that's how we is actually living beings. I think even animals probably communicate this stuff. We as living beings go about, doing this together. So those are some of the intangibles you really need to have. You need to be willing to learn, right? You need to be coachable, and you need to be persistent. You need to once the when the going gets rough, you don't get going. You keep going. You know what I mean by that is that you don't pack up and quit. You double down. You say, you know what, this didn't work today. I'm gonna switch some things up and try again tomorrow. If that don't work, I'm gonna switch some more things up and try again the next day. You have to tell yourself that you aren't gonna fail, because as soon as you say you will, you probably will, right? We manifest what we want to be. We manifest who we want to be, and we manifest how we get there. So if you keep telling yourself you're gonna fail, you keep telling yourself you're gonna hit a wall, you keep telling yourself, oh, it's not gonna work out, what do you think's gonna happen? I mean, be honest with yourself. If you tell yourself, I got this, you tell yourself, you know what, it didn't work this way today, but I'm gonna try it again later, and I think I can do it. As soon as you say I think I can do it, it becomes easier for you to push through, for you to advance, for you to grow. And that's really what I wish that, I learned starting off my online business. A little bit about me is that, I never had it easy. I had to grow up not really having a lot of great support. Um, and times were rough, but after a while I learned that, I can't let the lack of support from certain folks, you know, whether that be family, whether that be, community members, whether that be peers, whatever, I can't let the lack of support hold me back forever. You know, you create the future that you want to have. You create the person that you want to be, you know, and I strongly believe that. I strongly believe that you manifest your own destiny. Yes, some things are predetermined. The Lord, gives us free will, but He also knows what's going to happen before it happens. But I think that He gives us the ability to change what paths we go in, and I think that that's something you need to really do. It absolutely does take a village. It absolutely does take a village. You know, um, whether whether you're working by yourself, working with others, whatever, eventually you're gonna want to start to build some kind of community. And your community could be small. It could be you and two other people, and that's all you need, honestly, because now you're able to kind of share the wealth. You're able to distribute the workload. You avoid burning out, and you keep each other motivated. That's the biggest thing, is you keep each other motivated. You share your experiences. Um, for example, if you're making a TV show, I can speak a lot about that because I'm in production. You're making a TV show, you got all these different people that have their own role, but it all comes together to create what you see on the screen. You got your producers that write the story, got your directors that like tell people where they need to be, when they need to be, how they need to be. You got your camera operators, you got the people that do the sound, then you got the people that edit the show together. All these people have to come together in order to make one final piece, and that's what you see on screen. Starting a business is no different. Starting off, you might want to do it all yourself. I understand that, because you're going to struggle financially. You really want to learn those skills just so you can say, I can do it if I have to. But after a while, once you've got it all down, once your business is growing, once you found some success, or some moderate success, you can start building a community, start delegating, start finding specialists to do certain things. If your strength is really in creating content, creating videos, or outreach, talking to people, focus on that. Have somebody else do the email marketing or the outreach. Have somebody else create the websites and the graphics. Have somebody else, you know, do the other stuff. It comes down to personal preference. It comes down to who you are as a person, and it also comes down to where you want to be. I strongly believe that we can't grow on our own. I think that we absolutely need to build some kind of community. We need to have some kind of like, pack with other people, and that's why you should really want to get into networking. You want to kind of share your experiences with other people. One of the best experiences I had recently, right? I'm going off a little tangent now. I was on TikTok and I interviewed another affiliate marketer who's in it with his wife, and that actually wound up being 45 minutes longer than I intended to be. I was trying to plan for like a 30-minute interview. We were talking for a good hour and a half just because we were just enjoying the conversation. We were sharing our experiences. We were uplifting each other. That's what you need to do. You have to like, really kind of pick the brains of other experts or other, soon to be experts, find out where they're struggling, where they're struggled, where they've succeeded, and really kind of see, how you guys kind of come together. I think that the biggest thing you could do as a business owner, as a person, is just to connect with somebody on a deeper level. It's whether that be, spiritual level, whether that be financial, business level, whatever. I think that the best thing you can do to grow as a business owner, as a person, is just to find your tribe. Is to find that group of people that you really connect with, you're really strong with, you really bond with. Um, because at the end of the day, that's what life is all about. Life is just about making those connections. We're all interweaved, we're all growing, we're all evolving, and that's just what we need to do. And as a business owner, it makes things so much, so much, so much easier when you're not going at it alone. Trust me, like at first it's gonna be lonely. It's gonna be lonely at first because you have to realize what you have to do to build your personal brand. You know, and working with a community is great, right? That's going to also help you build your brand, but you have to realize, you have to decide what you want to be for yourself. Then you can ask other people, okay, how do I get there? But until you decide, what you want to be, who you want to be, how you want to be, you know you're going to kind of like go in circles otherwise. But there's really no problem with like taking your time getting there, because we don't just wake up one day and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. It doesn't work that way for the vast majority of us. I mean, maybe some of us, like, if you were born into that shit, but I wasn't. I'll tell you, I wasn't. But it's one of those things, you have to work your way up there. You have to say, you know what, I want better for myself. How can I get there? What can I do? What am I good at? All right. Well, I'm good at stuff, but it doesn't pay. Okay. Well, how do I make it pay? How do I monetize my skill sets? How do I monetize my knowledge? And then that's when, once those creative juices get to flowing, that's when you say, you know what? I'm going to iron it all out. I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to focus on this one thing. I'm going to make this one product or offer this one service. And I'm going to make this thing work. And once this one service blows up, people know who I am. I reach out to them, say, hey, you want to be a part of this? And now I'm building my network. Now I'm building my community. Now I'm building my brand. You know, and it just explodes after that. It just yes, it's more fun than you think. But again, there are going to be some of those tough days. There's going to be a lot of long nights. There's going to be times where you really start to second guess yourself. But you've got to just push through it. Maybe take a step back. Eat a few snacks, have a few drinks, do what you got to do. Um, but come back stronger. Come back focused, come back motivated. And if you ever need a hand, I'm here. This is what I do. I really think my calling in life is to help people succeed, is to help them grow, and I'm happy. I'm happy to do that. Physical level, you attend events which allowed you to build your tribe following more. So, which methods were good for finding those events and people? Would you say digital is vastly more effective than in person? All right, so that's all right. Couple questions there. I have attended some events, right? I have attended networking events, professional networking events, and honestly, I kind of lucked up on those. I actually found those through a network, right? I actually found those on a job I was on. I was helping a friend of mine do a shoot, and I was networking with the people there at the event. It was a professional networking event. I went to a few of those with them. It's like a young black entrepreneur events, and that was extremely helpful for my mindset. You hear certain people uh, that are in within your age group, right? It was like a millennial group. You hear from those guys that have started their own businesses. You hear from some of the things they talk about. Everybody says the same thing as far as mindset. They say it's not going to be easy. They say you got to push through, and you got to like find your tribe. That's kind of universal. They say it in different words, but everybody kind of comes to that same conclusion, right? Um, I would say definitely, 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 whether definitely try to find those events within your local community, right? Because it was a DMV based group, District DC, Maryland, Virginia based group. So I'll definitely go back to those because they used to have them every year, but because of COVID, they kind of had to like not have it in person. I don't know if they did it virtually. I would have been happy to set up for them if they asked, but yeah, it is what it is. But I think that both methods are effective, the in person and the virtual. The in person is better because there's there's no substitution for human interaction, right? Being face to face with people, because when you hear their voice face to face, it's like subconsciously it sends like certain signals to you. I think it's a pheromone thing. And you really kind of like are able to feel their energy, like literally feel their energy. And so that's where it gets into a more like spiritual level, and everybody's intertwined and stuff. But I do think that the digital helps you reach more people, and you could potentially talk to more people. But because it's digital, people tend to hide behind the screen, right? Have like, for example, work events. How many people turn off their cameras? How many people like school events? If you ever done like online classes, how many people just refuse to participate? There's something about being in person where even if you're in the crowd and you don't talk to people, you still tend to pick up more and leave with more just because you're surrounded by more energy. And people are more kind of incentivized to engage because they want to feel that energy too. Like everybody wants to kind of feel those juices flowing, feel that creative energy, that vibe that you don't really get through a computer screen the way you would. I'm all for digital. I love digital media. I love it. But nothing is going to replace like person to person interaction. I think that's going to be a thing forever. Even with the metaverse, I think that, people are going to try it. They're going to try to mix the person interaction with the digital, but I don't think it's going to work the same. I think they're going to come close, but I don't think you can ever like totally replace human to human interaction. I don't know. Maybe when we're androids, that's another thing, but that'd be difficult. So as far as how you find these events, again, look up stuff in your local community. Like they post stuff on Eventbrite all the time. So surprisingly, place like Eventbrite, um, Ticketmaster may have some, but Eventbrite definitely. Um, Facebook events, there's a lot of like meetup groups there. Um, Reddit, there's places you can find these meetup groups, these communities, but make sure you vet them first. Like Reddit is pretty sketchy, like really sketchy. Craigslist, they have meetup groups too, but that's probably even sketchier than Reddit. But Facebook Live is definitely a really good one in Eventbrite. Um, I actually saw a networking event on Eventbrite, I think last month. I didn't go to it just 'cause I didn't have time, but it looked legit. And then there's always the thing that if it's a free event, you go, it's not what you expected, you roll out. But at the same time, you never know what you're gonna get when you get there. You could probably learn from something totally out of your niche, right? Um, I'm in the wealth niche, the make money online niche. But if I go to an event and they're talking about spirituality, I think I'll probably get something out of that too, because I do believe in, you know, spiritual energies and manifesting, your own destiny, that kind of stuff. So I think that that would also help to grow my business. Or, I mean, it won't. And, I just went there, I met some great people. We might work together on some other stuff. Maybe I like, how they handle their outreach. Maybe they had a really good event. I want to learn how they put it all together. There are lessons you can learn in any given situation if you allow yourself to. It's like you have to like unlock that level in your mind and say, you know what? Every situation is a learning situation. So I'm gonna like make the best of it. And that's really where I am because I kind of had to be, growing up. But I think that that's a valuable skill to have as a business owner too. Is like you treat every situation as a learning experience, every one of them. Now going back to some of the other mindset things, right? So, like I said earlier, you'll hit some financial struggles, right? You hit some financial walls. The well will dry a few times, um, and you have to kind of get yourself out of that rut. You have to say, okay, what am I doing different? What am I doing wrong that's slowing my business down? What am I doing that's causing me to not grow the way I want to grow? That's where we have to learn how to adapt. You want to give stuff room to grow, but at the same time, if you've given it room to grow, room to breathe, that's when you say, okay, I need to change. I need to pivot. And that's some of the things that only you know when that's gonna happen. You can ask people advice, and some of them are gonna say, ride it out. Others are gonna say, well, what are you even doing this to begin with? And other ones are just gonna say, you know what, let's try this instead. And those are the ones you need to kind of be with. The ones that say, you know what, let's try this instead. Because if you given something room to breathe, you've been trying a new method for months and it hasn't worked out the way you expected it to, or it's not working out at all, that's when you got to pivot. That's when the best results happen, honestly. It's like you're playing a sport and they block off one lane. Do you keep trying to force your way through, or do you cut to the open one? Life is all about detours, and some of them are better than others. Some of them are shorter than others. But at the same time, you have to decide when are you going to, just take that turn. I'm going to see if I got any more questions. YouTube is chilling, man. YouTube doesn't ask any questions. They're just there. But I'm glad you guys are watching. So those are the intangibles you really need to have as a business owner. You have to be persistent, you have to be patient, you have to, really learn how to build a community within your niche, within your interests, within your immediate locality. You have to learn, how to utilize every single experience as a learning experience. Always, always, always fail forward, right? Don't let any single loss hit you to the point where you say, you know what, I'm giving up, I'm hanging it up. Don't let that happen. You can be down, you can be totally upset, you can be completely blown. You spent $1,000 on this one program or on this mastermind, you got nothing out of it. Say, damn, I really wish I had that money back. But I did learn from one good thing that happened from that event. With that one good thing that happened, now it's worth all that money you paid. Now it's worth you taking a trip. You know, don't let a negative experience ruin you. Let it be part of your motivation, right? Let it be part of your reason for wanting to keep going. Say, you know what, I'm never gonna let something of that scale happen to me again. You'll say, I'm going to spend money to go to another mastermind to learn from other top experts. But I'm going to vet them this time. I'm going to say, I'm not going to go to these people unless I know that they have proven results, unless I know that they're really a master in my field, and that the people that they bring along as guest hosts or guest speakers are also masters in my field. If there's even one shady person, yeah, I ain't going. Every experience, every lesson, everything you do, keep moving forward. Just keep going. Like, it's not gonna always be easy. It's not. It's absolutely not. But it's totally, totally, totally worth it. I promise you. So with that being said, I'm out. It's been a long night, and I got more work to do. Thanks for coming. Oh, if you happen to watch this on the replay, let me know what you'd like to see in the next live. I'm trying to go live every Tuesday and Thursday. Today's Thursday, so here I am. I'll try to go live again on Tuesday. But I will say next week and that in the week and every week following that is likely gonna get crazy. I'm trying to buy a house, trying to do some stuff, and it's been busy. But I'm here for you guys. I always respond to all my DMs. I respond to all my comments. Anything you guys got for me, I'm here for you. So thanks again for watching. And if you guys have any more comments or any questions, drop them, here as a post, drop them in my DMs, whatever. Again, I'm here to help you guys build your businesses, whether that be digital businesses, physical businesses, whatever. I'm here to help. So good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.